Good morning, everybody. Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Hey, guys. All right. I'm pleased to see everybody's enjoying the Super Bowl stuff and various comparisons of my work and the stuff I've been doing on this particular machine, which is the Sony AV5000A. Real piece of shit of a machine, but been working on it for years, so I know all the problems when it comes to this machine. And anyways, I wanted to actually talk to you guys about what people don't know about these reel-to-reel video machines. We do have 5 of this particular model. As you can see, I've got 2 more on the floor, and we're doing like all the upgrades while I got an actual week worth of time here to fix some of the machines I have. I am getting a lot of requests with a lot of early video recordings like the Super Bowl that you just saw that were actually done on this particular machine. So I want to be ready for these people when they actually hit me with these large collections of tapes, and I'll be able to actually do these with no problem at all. I don't like working with crappy machines. I like having the best arsenal of machines in my disposal so I can actually get these jobs done. All right. Let's talk about one of the biggest problems about these reel-to-reel video machines. Besides capacitors, and capacitors are always the number one problem when it comes to reel-to-reel, even audio machines. As you can see, I have a slew of capacitors in this box of various different types. Now, this machine runs on these motors, and it also applies to the reel-to-reel audio machines as well. Now, this is an actual motor. There's actually 2 of them in this machine, and you got to have capacitors to get these motors spinning to speed. Now, capacitors, they're called motor run capacitors, as you can see written on this one, motor run capacitor. It gets the motor up to speed and actually starts the motor in progress when you turn the machine on, rewind, fast forward, and all that. Generally, you'll see cans like this inside behind this panel. These things are complete shit. They dry out, and once they dry out, once you get the machine up to temperature, the speeds will drop down to nothing. It will just start slowing down really, really bad with the scan. Not necessarily because the tapes are sticky or anything like that. The scanning motor will start slowing down big time once the machine starts getting very, very hot. And that's because of bad motor run capacitors like these crappy ones that they used in the 70s and these cans when they dry out, especially on this machine. So I don't even want to deal with that shit at all. So when I rebuild or service a machine for one that's going to be in my arsenal, so I don't have to be dealing with so many problems, we service the machines fully, especially this one here, which is a complete brand new machine with everything in it. So what do? Okay, the last thing you really need to do when you actually do a capacitor upgrades on these machines, once you get them all recapped, once you take the time to actually do this, it's almost like 3 weeks to recap a machine like this. So once you get it to this stage, you want to do your final stage, which is called motor run capacitor. You want to get that done as well. Now, this machine has a problem because you can't get it in there space-wise. It's a real pain in the ass. So what we do is there's cans like this. There's 3 of them in there. And you just can't get to them. It's a really tight spot. So what we do is we remove the wires from the cans of the connectors. We look at the service manual, and it shows you the number on this strip where the capacitor values are supposed to be. So we end up using these modular type of capacitors, which these are a 2.5, which is basically what this motor calls for. Okay, so this is a 2.5 microfarad, and these little modular ones, and we bridge them to the strip, and we tuck them underneath out of the way, and voila, you got brand new motor run capacitors for this machine, and you'll probably never ever have to worry or touch them ever again. But when it comes to these capacitors on these motors in these machines, these are called motor run capacitors. The originals that Sony used are complete shit. When these machines sit for decades and are not being used, these capacitors go into the failing mode, where You might get them to run for a little while. The machine will get hot, and then the machine will start slowing down really, really bad. And it's usually because of these CAN capacitors behind this panel. So we bridge sort of high quality capacitors. We bridge them to the proper strip numbers from the schematic, so we don't ever have to deal with that problem again. And then the motors will stay at full speed with brand new, fresh capacitors to keep the motors running. There's all kinds of capacitors, motor run capacitors you can use, like these, for example. They're so large, you know, in some machines you can't even get these, put them anywhere. There's just no room. So you can go with capacitors like this. These are pigtail capacitors, same purpose, same thing. And these will do the job for motor run capacitors as well. You just make sure you have the proper value, microfarad, and you can go a little higher on voltage, that's fine, but you want to make sure you stay at the right microfarad when you're changing out motor run capacitors, especially on this machine. Especially with the upgrades I'm doing on my machines, I'm getting them done at a very fast pace due to the fact I've got people calling about collections that are done on this machine. And like I spoke in previous guys, you have to have this machine. If you're doing any color playback and they're early recordings, they will not play back on EIAJs of other formats, because there's two types of color. You got a pilot tone and you got an NTSC. This is a pilot tone. It was the only machine made like this, and it's the only one that can play tapes back in color if they were done on this machine. So that's why this machine's very important. If you got color tapes that were done maybe from 69 up to about 73 and they were done on this machine, any other machine you try playing them back on, they will be black and white only. This is why I've got so many of these, and this is why I took my time and rebuilt them brand new, because people are sitting on tapes and are like, why can't I get them in color? Well, that's the reason why. This machine is indigenous to itself. It's a real piece of shit, and if they're not rebuilt, and you know somebody such as myself that knows what the hell he's doing on this machine, you will never get color playback on this machine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe you learned a little thing about motor run capacitors and reel-to-reel video machines, and why at this day and age in 2026 these things are 50 plus years old. You have to rebuild them, guys. You can't just jump into this business thinking you're going to give quality work to customers with just machines that you're finding on eBay or whatever. It does not work like that. So I hope you enjoy this video.